In April 1999, NATO bombed 2 buildings of the Yugoslav Army General Staff. Goran Petković was a young soldier back then, and he was one of the first to arrive at the scene.
It was like apocalypse, dirt, smoke, parts of the building. This place is soaked with the history of Serbian military, and it means a lot to me because I work there. Me personally, I will stand in front of excavator and I will protect the building with my body.
The buildings were designed by famous Serbian architect Nikola Dobrović during 50s and 60s. And prior to their construction, the site was home to the Serbian Military Academy, the Ministry of Defense of the Kingdom of Serbia, and quarters of famous regiments from World War I. This banner that promotes Serbian army says, "We serve Serbia." Behind it are now ruins, but it was inside this historical building that the whole Serbian military doctrine was developed. Now there's a backlash because government is willing to allow its demolition. Lawmakers say it's in general public interest for the buildings to be demolished and that it's important for economic growth, especially given that they will be replaced by a hotel owned by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The ruling Progressive Party also says that the buildings are a symbol of communism and have no cultural value.
The fact that we have a ruin, it should be removed so that something should be built there and so that we can make memorial center for the victims of the NATO bombing, period. All of the hysteria about the Provic, I guess that if he had value, he would have more projects.
Architectural experts reject that claim, saying the buildings are a work of modernism and have nothing to do with ideology. They argue that the structures can still be saved. That was also the intention of President Aleksandar Vučić, who, as a prime minister 9 years ago, had ordered the restoration of the buildings to their original design.
It is not impossible, and it is not incredibly expensive. We spent billions on projects like Expo, National Stadium. This is the political, historical, cultural center of city, and we cannot give it to private investor.
The building was stripped of its cultural heritage status in November 2024. The process was enabled by Goran Vasić, chairperson of the Institute for the Protection of Cultural Monuments of Serbia, who later admitted to falsifying a key document in the process. Vasić spent a month in prison during the investigation, but has since returned to his position as the head of the institute. Marko Vlahovic, TRT World, Belgrade.